Japan is another example of a jurisdiction that has given us that regulatory clarity and has a clear licensing and regulatory framework in place.
I do believe there's been a real attempt, you can call it choke point 2.0, whatever you want, by our federal government to close out crypto, at least recently in our country.
I mentioned this before. I brought my prop. I got a $20 bill. I can use this $20 bill however I choose for meat, for guns, or even illicit purposes. But when the government controls the dollar, they can control, as we talked about in the report, whether you can buy a firearm, how much gas you can buy, how much electricity you can buy.
And this is different than things like cryptocurrency. Bitcoin, a centralized digital currency, is directly controlled and issued by the government to consumers. And it provides the government with a direct view of all consumer activities.
Note, both hike cycles were smaller than today. The 2004 cycle was about 4 points in 2 years. 2016 cycle was about 2 points in about 3.5 years. Today's is already bigger than both, and that's in a single year with more to go.
Effectively a global reserve currency. Effectively a global reserve currency.
Enjoy the ride, pal.
If you got some bags, welcome to the party. Welcome back to some more. Moon o'clock news, no breakfast, no coffee, just straight extra. Bullishness, shout out to the latest sub, Abstract Flash in the building. Appreciate you stopping by. Stuffing some bags, go ahead. Throw on those moon suits. Throw on those pilot shades. Buckle up. There's a futures, extra. Bullish, let's go full speed, full throttle. Into the cryptoverse. We got the total global cryptocurrency market cap today at 1.23 trillion, up almost 0.5% in the past 24 hours. We got XRP here still in that number 6 spot, right around 50 cents, up about 0.2 in the past 24. Stellar XLM still right around 10.5 cents, down 0.5% in the past 24 hours. We got BTC 28K, ETH right around 19 hundo. We got Flare Networks in the number 104 spot, right around 0.0349. And we got Songbird in the number 283 spot, right around 0.00912, down about 0.3 in the past 24. We got Ripple, a tweet from Ripple here. Countries across the Asia Pacific regions are providing clear regulatory guidance for the crypto industry. Hear from the APAC Ripple Policy Director on who is making strides to support crypto innovation. XRP, RippleNet.
So what examples of regulatory clarity do we see? I think if you look at the Asia-Pacific region, there's a few jurisdictions that have provided us with that regulatory clarity. So here in Singapore, there's a very clear taxonomy for digital assets, as well as a clear risk-sensitive regulatory framework. Japan is another example of a jurisdiction that has given us that regulatory clarity and has a clear licensing and regulatory framework in place. At the same time, there are other jurisdictions in the region that are looking to provide that regulatory clarity. Australia is one example that is undergoing a consultation process right now, and we hope to see a clear regulatory framework in the coming year. Korea has also provided some regulatory clarity for security tokens, and we're now looking at clarity for the other digital assets over the course of this year, as well as New Zealand, which has just started a consultation process to provide that regulatory clarity for crypto.
We got John Deaton says we need to make sure things like this get the maximum views. When someone within the crypto community says that these things, it is easier to dismiss us as biased zealots. Other sitting members of Congress need to witness the engagement to realize the strength of the crypto voting bloc. On yesterday's episode, Majority Whip calls Gary Gensler a warring disciple and a bad faith regulator. Tom Emmer.
You said on the Bankless podcast recently that you believe the government is trying to enact an Operation Choke Point 2.0 to cut crypto off from the banking system. What do you, as a congressperson, plan to do about it?
Well, we've got to continue to raise awareness, Laura. If you look, literally, we had people telling us that they've been running into problems trying to bank crypto. This has been an ongoing problem, especially under this administration, but let's not kid ourselves. It's been there for a while, but it really was ramped up. And then you had the three largest crypto banks in the country, Silvergate, Silicon Valley, and Signature, all, for lack of a better term, go down within a short period of time. Silvergate first, and then Silicon Valley and Signature right after that. Look, nobody lost anything in Silvergate, but the Silvergate owners decided to simply unwind and give everything, return all deposits to their customers. Why is that, Laura? Well, because they decided it was better to do that than to be fighting with regulators over the next several years and incurring all the legal costs that the government is going to require if you're going to take on the government. Again, that's Tom Emmer's interpretation. You'd have to ask them. And I believe Barney Frank said something to the effect when this was first happening. I don't know how my government declares a solvent bank insolvent. Shortly after that, it's some type of rumor or press statement that crypto was one of the problems with this bank because it was 30% of the deposits. Laura, within 24 to 48 hours, I believe the head of the New York financial department came out and acknowledged that those holdings they didn't have anything to do with the alleged failing of Signature Bank because they weren't leveraged. They weren't using them as part of their loan portfolio, et cetera. And then we hear that some reporters are told that anyone who buys Signature, any bank that wants to buy Signature has to agree not to bank crypto. Long story, there are other warning signs along the way, but when we got to that one, it was really interesting that the FDIC was apparently telling prospective buyers at Signature that if you're going to buy the bank, you have to agree that you will not deal in crypto. Really interesting, too, they have Signet, I believe it's called, the technology. It's a 24/7 real-time closing of payments. Kind of funny that I asked the head of the FDIC last week, Grunberg, what you've done with Signet. And he said, I believe we sold it. Guess what, Laura? They hadn't sold it. He either was ignorant or he was not telling me the truth on purpose. And I just wonder, you got FedNow that our federal government has announced they're going to be rolling out sometime this summer as a 24/7, real-time payment system. I don't know. We got to wait and see what these people are doing. But I do believe there's been a real attempt, you can call it choke point 2.0, whatever you want, by our federal government to close out crypto, at least recently in our country.
They don't want you with those generational wealth bags. They know what's coming. We know what's coming, and they can't stop it. We got Ripple awarded platinum partner status by DMI Symposium 2023, the global summit on CBDCs. Becomes the first platinum partner of the Digital Monetary Institute Symposium 2023. This event is crucial on meeting on CBDCs, money transfer regulation, blockchain usage, and business and related issues. We got central banks and digital currencies, 10th and 11th May 2023. Registered to attend physically in London. I think London ready. We got all roads leading to the bridge here. Susan Friedman, head of public policy, Ripple. We also got James Wallace, vice president, central bank engagement, Ripple. Coming in London the 10th and 11th of May, central banks and digital currencies. John Deaton says when people talk about the negative impact of the SEC's case against Ripple and XRP, here's an example. TapJets and thousands of other vendors accept XRP, but some major companies will not touch it due to the lawsuit. Bitcoin, Shiba, Ethereum, now accepted by Ralph Lauren Miami stores. We got Bitcoin news. Bitcoin is a tool for freedom. CBDCs is a tool for control.
Eventually want to get rid of most banks. Now, the big ones are too big to fail. But in the end, the ultimate objective is to essentially wipe all of the banks out so that your bank will be the Federal Reserve. Everything will be centralized. And again, this is not really about the money, although of course it is. This is about power and control. Because the government, such as it is, will have access to all of the information related to every single transaction you make. You buy a stick of gum, the government will know. You buy a new car, the government will know. Oh, you bought the wrong car. You didn't buy an EV. Now you're going to get penalized. So in the end, Sean, this is really a move toward a CCP-style social credit system. And they're using this move to a central bank digital currency as the biggest lever to try to get us there.
It's important to note that other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin is decentralized. This will be centralized within the government. Bitcoin is a technology for freedom. This is a technology for control. I mentioned this to you before. I brought my prop. I got a $20 bill. I can use this $20 bill however I choose for meat, for guns, for even illicit purposes. But when the government controls the dollar, they can control, as we talked about in the report, whether you can buy a firearm, how much gas you can buy, how much electricity you can buy. Can you buy meat, or do you have to buy bug-based meat? They can control everything that you purchase with a digital dollar and whether you can purchase anything.
Well,
we got Bullzilla, CKJ Crypto News. Florida governor has stated that adding that he plans to introduce legislation prohibiting the use of central banks' digital currencies, which he says is the Biden administration's attempt at financial surveillance.
We've seen a lot of mismanagement from the economic central planners. It's just by nature. You cannot do this effectively without there being major costs to pay. And so some want to increase power to these organizations such as the Federal Reserve. And so last year, President Biden issued an executive order to explore the creation of a U.S. central bank digital currency, effectively converting the dollar into a centralized digital currency. And this is different than things like cryptocurrency. Bitcoin, a centralized digital currency, is directly controlled and issued by the government to consumers. And it provides the government with a direct view of all consumer activities. And so this is something that is being proposed as somehow being environmentally sustainable, a way to increase access to consumers who lack the means to join a traditional bank. But as we've come to learn, any way they can get into society to exercise their agenda, they will do it. So
Trillions of dollars are draining out of the banks into money market funds. That weakens the banks. Fear that the banks are at risk is driving this trend and thus making the banks even weaker. Fed warns of a silent bank run.
Hey guys, on Tuesday, the Fed took a break from playing arsonist and played fireman, sounding the alarm that trillions could start draining out of banks in a silent bank run, implying yet greater several trillions could soon drain out of the U.S. economy. This could endanger the banks yet again, driving them yet again to the comforting embrace of taxpayers eager to sacrifice our life savings to cover their gambling debts. More important, and as a creative thank you for our generosity, this could crush the economy. In the Fed's paper, they looked at the past two rate hike cycles starting in 2004 and 2016. In each, they found a big jump, trillions, going from banks into money market funds. Now, money markets are like a bank account, a nice place to park your dollars, but this is key. Money market funds cannot be fractionally reserved. That means that while a dollar in the bank system is spawning roughly $3 more via fractional reserve, like hamsters, they multiply, a dollar in a money market fund is just a dollar. It's not quite as good as a full reserve bank. After all, money market funds still put your dollars in risky government bonds instead of cash, which is king, but they're close. In gory detail, in the 2004 cycle, money market funds doubled from about $1.5 trillion to $3 trillion. And in 2016, they rose 40% from $2.5 trillion to $3.5 trillion. Why did this happen? For two reasons. First, because high rates mean the gap between what you make in the bank and what you make in a money market fund is bigger. You're losing more sticking with the bank. For example, in 2020, interest rates were about zero, and both money markets and banks also paid about zero. But with rates almost 5% now, money markets also pay about 5%, but banks still pay about zero. Second is fear. In the 2008 crash, and again during COVID, money market deposits rose because of fear the banks would collapse. After all, the kind of people who move billions in and out know it's a Ponzi. They know that banks are permanently bankrupt, living handout to handout. Note, both hike cycles were smaller than today. The 2004 cycle was about 4 points in 2 years. 2016 cycle was about 2 points in about 3.5 years. Today's is already bigger than both, and that's in a single year with more to go. So now we have a perfect storm.
Inflation from 1913 to 2023. In 1913, gold was $20 per ounce. 2023, it's $2,000 per ounce, or almost a 10,000% increase. In 1913, a barrel of crude oil was 95 cents. In 2023, it's $8.60, or an 8,384% increase. Crypto Eddy, attention creative minds and devs, XRP Ledger Zone in Austin, Texas, April 27, 2023. David in person, the zone is an on-ramp for launching and accelerating new ideas on the XRP Ledger. Not much working. Happy hour starts at 3 p.m. Crypto's XRP 4-hour support holding beautifully at the moment. We'll update on XRP as XRP holds steady above 50 cents for 11 consecutive days. XRP setting up that next move. Don't forget to get your flash sale Expector, the 5890 Parcel limited time deal. 12 plots included, 5,890 Expector, Spectre.com. Got Panos. Contrary to the belief of most people that a cryptocurrency is not backed by anything, it does have intrinsic value, and it is backed by its utility and the unique blockchain properties and features such as security, decentralization, immutability, scarcity, and known monetary policies. Joe Cat says, let's talk about 10 things nobody can speak for the XRP ledger, and these are just my own views. Also, it's dangerous to say something will be definitely not happening. Talking about what is reasonable to expect. In response to Sir Clown Sniper, the 10 things the XRP community needs to get right. We got XRP can't be pegged to gold. All the money in the world will not run across the XRP ledger. Massively scaling blockchains is hard. That doesn't limit use of XRP to denominate payments or using payment channels, IOUs, derivatives, etc. Most of the world's payments don't belong on a public blockchain. US government is not going to buy back XRP, and the RippleNet is totally different from XRP Ledger. The XRP and XRP Ledger really are what you see is what you get. Anderson X, it's not that XRP would be backed by gold, it's that XRP is like digital gold. The X in XRP means it has no issuer like gold. XAU is gold. It's agnostic value that can be transferred anywhere in the world in seconds, not controlled by any nation. XRP is an asset that can be used for settlement. It's kind of like gold that can be instantly teleport around the world. It does actually move value, and there's nothing to settle afterwards. With that being said, XRP, the reserve global currency.
Well, so when XRP was created, this actually was created before Ripple existed. The creators of XRP decided to be 100 billion units because they saw it as rather than having a smaller number with a very high price, they saw it as something they wanted to be effectively a global reserve currency.
XRP to be effectively a global reserve currency. Meanwhile, we're hearing talks of bank runs and the de-dollarization of the US dollar as the world reserve currency. Meanwhile, we have XRP hidden in plain sight, going to battle against the powers that be for all the money. XRP utility for the new global economy. Know what you hold, know what's coming, and know why they want you out before they flip that crypto switch. I am the XRP Bagman, the Moon Commander, currently up here on the mothership, stuffing some bags and enjoying the show. Appreciate you stopping by, tuning in, smashing those likes for some more Moon O'Clock news. Hope y'all continue to stay extra bullish out there. Continue holding those good vibes. Remember to sell the FUD. Buy up those bags. Don't forget to spread that liquid love. Also, if you're new here, don't forget to drop a subscribe, drop a comment down below. All the OG diamond hands out there, drop a comment down below, drop an elbow on that like button in the top rope. We'll catch you up here, top floor on the mothership for the moon party out here in Vegas. BYOB. Bring your own bags, bring your own billions, be your own boss. Peace out, crypto ghosts.
Reporting for duty, rockets be boosting so much wealth. I need me a shooter or two. We blast and we boost. Throw you the bag, I'll eat the oop. Used to be cash, now I get bags. No more throwing the cash. QR code on all of her assets. She got a ledger address. She said send me a drop, leave me a memo without a tag. You feeling attached, so many bags. You don't wanna send your XRP. Do you mind waiting BTC? It'll be there in an hour. I got crypto.